With us, I'd like to introduce you to our guest here, Raphael David Lasserie is a doctor in theoretical nuclear physics, founder and chief operating officer of Magic Lamp. He's here to talk about AI and its possible use in war scenarios. And of course, what we're looking at and what we'll go on to talk about is the situation in Ukraine. I'm wondering how you see AI developing in terms of warfare and where your company fits in.
Good evening. So for sure, AI is currently irrigating a lot of systems. And for sure, during this period where geopolitical situation is really unstable, it's fueling warfare. At Magic Lamp, we are actively developing several systems, some of them to boost and develop defense solutions for French armies. And for sure, today, it's really important to grasp a bit what's going on with these kind of solutions.
Raphael David Lasserie will speak to you more in a moment. Let's take a look at this report then about the issues that we will be talking about. With the rise in hybrid threats and intimidating maneuvers from hostile powers, France has joined the race to develop intelligent weapons. The state plans to invest €2 billion in artificial intelligence for defence by 2030, from radars that use AI to exponentially increase their detection and reconnaissance capacities, to weapons with AI to help take decisions, to algorithms allowing for multiple drones and robots to operate together. The range of applications is wide. The technology is developing at breakneck speed. The defence industry sees AI as a veritable game changer on the battlefield, and the private sector is benefiting from a booming market. Elena Voloshin and Gulliver Cragg with this.
All the drones are communicating all together in permanent. They are sharing obviously their position. They are sharing what they are observing.
Not far from Paris, this French manufacturer is demonstrating how a swarm of drones operates using artificial intelligence. The company plans to market this technology next year.
The operator will be able to give very high-level orders to the drone. For example, he'll say to the AI, "OK, I need you to patrol this zone here." The system will understand the notion of patrolling and will deploy and patrol the area. We're moving on from the era when you had to control every movement with a joystick. The drone lives its life and will apply that to the whole swarm.
At its centre near Bordeaux, Thales is working on more than 100 projects that use AI. Like this hardware that improves the performance of territorial surveillance radars.
We're going to connect this laptop to the radar's calculator, and thanks to it, we can identify our targets of interest 100 times faster than before.
The Rafale jets will have AI. It's also beginning to be incorporated into ground-based radars. It's become standard practice.
In the hills above Antibes in the south of France, this startup generates digital images on which to train AIs.
Here, I'm generating images to train a drone to detect vehicles in a desert environment. The current situation means that there's a lot of investment in defence, on the European level in particular. There's an effort to achieve greater sovereignty in the AI field too.
Initially, these entrepreneurs were betting more on developing automatic vacuum cleaners. They say the shift from civilian to military applications gives their work a patriotic dimension.
Elena Voloshin, Gulliver Cragg with that report. Our guest is Raphael David Lasserie, doctor in theoretical nuclear physics, founder and chief operating officer of Magic Lamp, a company seeking to use AI to illuminate rather than figuratively blind people with science. This man will give us, I hope, explanations about how AI can be applied to things like the battlefield. I must admit, to be really frank with you, I find it fascinating, but also very frightening at the same time.
Sure. I mean, as usual with AI, there is a side which is really frightening, especially when we are dealing with kinetic systems, so meaning that we are going to use some automated decision-making system that can intervene in the battlefield. So just one important point. In France, for instance, we have a very strong doctrine which says that, for instance, if you have an automated system, it cannot take the decision that can kill or that can impede the life of someone. So what it needs to be really clear is that we can accelerate, we can use AI to better understand the battlefield, but for now, our stance in France is not to use it as a mean of killing. But for sure, there is also a bright side for it. In a world where there is a lot of signals, where battlefield become more and more complex, more and more aggregation of thousands of signals, we need to have some systems that can reduce the noise and increase the signal, and AI is the key.
Is AI already affecting things as they happen on the battlefield in Ukraine, for instance?
Sure, a lot. We have seen that. It can be at the level of the targeting systems for the drones, for instance, which increased by more than 80% the efficiency of drones. There is also for the counter drones, so when trying to control the aerial space, there is currently a system which is called Sky Turret, which is an automated turret which detects and shutdowns drones and loitering munitions. So there is already a lot of applications, not only on the kinetic side, but also in the cognitive side. So working also in all the area of misinformation and how to do some psychological warfare. So it's already there.
So in some way, this can be used not just purely and simply for the taking of life, but also for the prevention of that happening in terms of reconnaissance, in terms of better planning, in terms of actually stopping missiles coming through.
Sure. As usual, there is these two sides, the defense and the offense. We don't need to be really innocent. I mean, it's important to also have an offensive doctrine and to know how to act. But currently, it can be used to protect population, to better plan, to better recon. But we need not to be that innocent. I mean, war is war, and there will be a toll. And now the question is, how can we compress this toll to reduce it and to maximize the effects of the kinetic weapons using AI to increase efficiency and reduce loss?
As you said, we mustn't be disingenuous about this. There is, in terms of war effort, in terms of arms manufacture, there is an economy. It makes money. People make money off the back of this. Will there be a similar budget or economy bursting out of this AI boom?
Sure. There is already an economic boom in the defense sector. A lot of other sectors are suffering from the economical uncertainty, and for sure there is a lot of people which are looking very closely at this economy. But just to recall something, the birth of the military and economic ecosystem in the US was started in 1945 with the development of the nuclear weapon. Currently we are trying to have a look at the same dynamic with a very, very strong need on the military side and with the impossibility to develop all the application only for military. So it comes to a point where we need dual applications. So we need civilian and military applications. And for sure, there is an economic boom related to these sectors.
And coming back to Ukraine, what's happening on the battlefield, this is really changing how actual armies are getting together and hitting each other, isn't it? What would have been before and what has we've seen sort of the so-called meat grinder in Ukraine, in places like Bakhmut, where literally men have been firing at each other. This can all be done perhaps in a very different way going forward.
It will probably modify the way that we are looking at it. Just to recall, more than a century ago, Foch, the General Foch, Marshal Foch, had a phrase which says that to win a war, you need the economy of means and the concentrations of efforts. And the idea is really to have systems that can optimize the forces in presence and lower, as we said, the loss. However, infantry is still the king of the battlefield, and from a personal point of view, I'm not seeing a fully robotized battlefield tomorrow, but already in Ukraine, we are already seeing a lot of doctrine which are changing due to the use of AI algorithm and systems. So I'm not sure that it will profoundly change the toll of military, but for sure it will change tactics and it will change dynamics of war.
Raphael, David, thank you very much for joining us. Raphael David Lessery is Doctor in Theoretical Nuclear Physics, founder and Chief Operating Officer of Magic Lamp, a company that basically tells you all about AI and all the things that you were doubting. And thank you for clarifying something for us about the frightening, chilling, but also fascinating use of AI in fields of warfare. Raphael David Lessery, thank you for joining us.
Thank